Agent Guy. Remember, I think it was last week when we talked to Terrence about picking up 94 feet, and he said the only guy who can't pick up 94 feet is De'Aaron Fox. Why is that? Is it just speed thing?
What you mean?
Is it just a speed thing, or is
Yeah,
it? And
yeah, a lot of speed. And speed with the green light. You know, speed with the green light, that equals disaster if you try to pick him up full court. You know, so if you pick him up full court, he can actually go down 10 for 10 times and go lay the ball up, and the coach won't say anything because that's what he does. You know, so it's different if you're playing against a backup with speed that can't break the plays and kind of got to run the show. It's a little different, but with Fox just back up.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And Sabonis didn't have a great game last time you guys played against him. I guess, what do you expect from him tonight? Is it kind of just like, did you do too much to take him out of his game last time? What do you expect from him tonight?
No, just to play the way he plays. You know, last night, 1 assist away from a triple-double. He just takes what the game gives him. You know, he's a great facilitator, can pass the basketball. Can pick and pop, make a little 15-foot jump shot, occasionally a three. But we know when he catches in the pocket, off the pick and rolls, if you don't meet him first and meet him early, if he makes contact first, he's usually going to score the basketball. And so just talking to Tice and talking to Zoo, like, when he catches the ball, in that short roll, you got to meet him early because he's too physical to let him, hit you first.
Going back to Fox, obviously he had 40 a couple weeks ago, but you said that you was happy with how he defended the Kings because that team hunts threes, and if Fox has the ball in his hands, he can do what he wants, but you limit how guys are in rotation, chasing and trying to get behind, defending the three-pointer itself. So, how do you kind of reduplicate that kind of defense, is limiting a team that they want to get threes? What's the key of stopping that?
I think, one, just, having physicality in all 5 positions. I think, they do a good job of, running good sets. They run a lot of splits. And if you're not into bodies and you're not communicating, they can embarrass you, especially with Sabonis is passing and all the shooting they have on the floor. So just locking in defensively, understanding that, we don't want to overhelp and give up threes. We want to try to play a pick and roll 2-on-2 as best as possible. And then making sure we're getting back out to their shooters. So it's a tough task. And like I said, just trying to duplicate what we did, about a week ago.
Just following up on that, Blazers had that one quarter yesterday. They had 10 threes, and I'm sure guys were able to see that probably today. Was there anything that you saw in that third quarter where you just felt like they were just exceptionally hot, or were there things that you identified that you can correct and be better tonight?
Yeah, they were hot. They were making some shots, and some of the guys you weren't taking those shots, and they were made them. So when you put a lot of attention on, trying to get the ball out of Simon's hands or trying to get the ball out of Sharp's hands, other guys made shots, and so you got to just tip your hat to those guys for stepping up and making those shots.
Hello, Coach Tiny.
How you doing, BT?
Doing good. What's been the keys to success during this winning streak? How do you guys sustain that?
I think just, I know we had a rough start, but just staying the course. I give our players credit just for every single day coming in, every shoot around, every practice, working to get better, and trying to understand and try to find out how they make each other better. We talked about it yesterday after the game. Just PG, Kawhi, and James making each other better, and so they've been able to do that as of late, and just understanding where the guys want the balls out on the floor, and then understand our rotations and how we want to play and who fits well with who. And so that's what we've been doing really well. But like I said, PG, Kawhi, and James are playing at a high level.
And Coach, speaking about Fox, obviously you say he is the green light, but defensively, is this the type of approach you kind of want guys to kind of go at him, make him work defensively, to kind of maybe exert some of that energy to where maybe he picks up early fouls, maybe he's not as aggressive in the fourth quarter? Do you kind of take that approach like the Luka, Steph, when he's on the court, guys are going at him defensively? Do you kind of take that approach?
Yeah, but he can actually defend.
He can.
Yeah, he can actually defend, and he takes the challenge. Like he wants to guard PG, and he wants to guard the better players, and so he takes that challenge. He can actually defend. And if you can get a couple fouls on him early, that would be great. But I don't think he's a guy that you want to continue to try to attack. Time in, time out.
Gotcha.
Ty, last time you guys were in Sacramento, Paul had said something about the challenge for the Stars was to find the new you in the system, whatever that would be. And you've talked about how Kawhi and Paul have had to adapt. What exactly is the new you for Kawhi and Paul once James came in?
I think the easier you, I think we had to get open threes. I think we had to play out of, playing off of closeouts. I think, you talking about me or them, right?
For them, for
Yeah,
Kawhi and
yeah,
Paul.
like they getting easier shots, open threes. Before in the past they had to take every shot, they had to create every shot. But now with James here, and Russ last year, just having a guy that can create, shot opportunities for those guys like Kawhi in that third quarter came out, I think got 2 or 3 wide open threes. Just in pick and roll actions, and he was a recipient of some open threes. And so, and also being able to play off closeouts. This is the most Kawhi's had a chance and opportunity to play off closeouts of catching the ball. Teams are in rotation and actually able to drive a closeout. And so, all three of those guys, like I said, just making each other better. And like you said, James got a couple open threes in that corner to start the third quarter yesterday as well. So they got to be able to make each other better, and they've been doing that as of late, and they're getting better at it. We still got a long ways to go, but they are getting better at it.
Has Kawhi had to figure out how, and it looks like he's getting more comfortable doing this, scoring without having the ball in his hands as much? Like usually he would have the ball and he would like work to get to his spots. Is he having to get to his spots now without the ball in his hands, like in less time, I guess?
Yeah, he's doing it in less time, not having to, pound as much, taking the pounding on his body, and he's getting, easier shots, so that's good for us in the long haul, going down the stretch, and, he's not playing, 82 games, we're getting beat up every single night, and so that's the great thing about having James.
Is there actually an element of new you? Is there anything that you've had to adapt in the last month?
Yeah, a lot of things. I'm trying to get better. It's making me better as well, so I think if you want to be a great coach in this league, you have to deal with a lot of different challenges. You have to face a lot of different challenges. You have to also be able to adjust and do things differently, to fit your team and, who your team is. And so if you want to be a great coach, you just can't come in and say, listen, I'm going to run my system for 30 years. That's what we're going to do. And no matter what the team is, no matter what the talent is, you're going to do it your way. And so for me, just being able to adapt, being able to communicate at a high level, and just be able to do different things, things I'm not accustomed to that actually work for the team, and I'm all for it. And so the biggest thing I would say is just be able to adjust and do things differently.
Ty, when you were in Vegas with Team USA, you got to see Keegan Murray up close with the select team. What did you take out of that setting with him as a player and as a person, and what have you seen out of him in his second year so far?
Yeah, I just think a great shooter. He's a great shooter, but sometimes when you see a guy shoot the ball as well as he does, you think he can't dribble or attack the basket. He can actually do both. And then also the thing outside of like guys like Clay, but he's also a really good defender. When you have guys that shoot at a high clip like he does, he's not great defenders, but he can also defend at a high level.
Ty, what have you learned about James since he got here that you might not have already known? On or off the court?
Yeah, I knew, he could pass the basketball, but just seeing some of the plays that he's able to make, because, when he first came in the league, he wasn't a point guard, so, going to Houston and becoming a point guard and then just seeing the plays and passes that he can make, it's like, okay, like, how did he see that or how did he do that? And then defensively, he has some really good hands, deflections, steals, and he's good at guarding the post. But for me, I think the biggest thing is, like I said, just his passing ability.
Anything off the court that he might?
Yeah, I don't hang with him off the court.
Hey Ty, when Terrence Mann hits the three consistently, it unlocks a whole dimension to your offense. Right now in catch and shoot, he's kind of struggling a little. He's second guessing himself. Have you or anyone else kind of giving him any sort of advice on how to keep his confidence up?
No, I mean, like I said, he didn't start the season because he got hurt, and it just takes a while to kind of get going, finding your rhythm. But T-Man's a career 39% three-point shooter, and so we understand he's going to make shots, and so just what he brings for us defensively, right now, just being able to guard the best player every night and allowing PG and Kawhi to kind of get those guys later on in the games is huge for us, and so we're not really worried about T-Man shooting. He's going to make shots, and so just got to be confident, step up and take them.
Thanks, Coach.